All right, guys, welcome again. My name is Dan Bauer. My partner Joe Conti is also on the line, and we're just going to go over real quick with you guys how important it is to have your taxes taken care of by a CPA, why that's important, and especially with the Juice Plus business. My name, again, Dan Bauer. I've been with Juice Plus for over 17 years with my wife, and we've always had a CPA taking care of us, and this is why you really want to make sure that you guys have a CPA on your side, right? So why do you want a CPA? A CPA, first of all, Certified States Accounting Board, all right? They've taken courses in college and or in their university in accounting. A CPA is broader knowledge base of tax law and procedures at hand. They specialize in travel, or specializing in travel is huge. This gives a broader understanding of what your personal businesses can deduct when you're doing business away from your home, which a lot of what Juice Plus is, guys, we're not just doing it out of our house. We're not just doing it, behind a computer. We're out and about. We're going to conferences. We're going to boot camps. We're going, to people's houses. Most people don't understand you can write off those mileages when you're just traveling to somebody's house if you want to calculate that. You can also do it by a percentage of your mileage for the year on your car. Most CPAs will understand that. But the bigger thing is they really don't understand is when you're traveling out of state and how that can really affect your business and what you're able to write off and what you're not able to write off. All right. 5 of the biggest questions that I always get. All right. And these are key, and this is what we really wanted to go over is, can I deduct my product I buy for myself? Well, the answer is yes, and it's no. All right. A portion of that can be written off because we all know all of the products we buy for ourselves end up in some capacity or another, partially get distributed out as samples, okay, whether it be shakes, whether it be capsules you put into a little container to get a new distributor started or a new client started before they get their product in hand. So we always take a little portion of that and be able to deduct that. A lot of accountants are like, no, if you're buying it for yourself, that's not deductible. It's not true because of the way we do our business, all right? Can I deduct housing expenses, okay? Again, yes, to an extent, all right? And going over that a little bit, there will be a percentage, all right? Can I deduct my travels? Yes, and there's a specific way we want to do that, and this is why it's so important for somebody who understands traveling for business, all right? Why would I want to be incorporated, all right? Or do I need to be incorporated? No, you don't need to be incorporated, but you might want to be, okay? And really what it comes down to is depending on what you're bringing in for your income versus what it's going to cost you in your taxes and what it's going to cost you to have a CPA do your return. It really doesn't make sense based on what a return would cost if you're only bringing in a few $100s. But if you're bringing in the thousands each year, then it might be worth it for you to incorporate yourself so you'd also save on your self-employment tax. And that's really what we're going to kind of get into right now, guys. When we talk about travel, why do we want someone who specializes in travel? Well, you're deductible. Okay? It's per diem. And what most accountants don't understand is each state, each city gets its own per diem for how much it would cost you to stay there for the night and how much a meal allotment you would get. So let me give you an example. Fort Lauderdale has a $160 a night
lodging
deductible for your hotel stay, and then it also then has a $59 a day for your entertainment. So it's huge that you guys understand. Let me backtrack. I know I stumbled there a little bit. What I'm saying is the government says if you go stay in Fort Lauderdale for the night, you're allotted to take $160 deductions. Well, if you only stay there and you stay at a friend's house and you don't pay anything, then you still get that $160 deduction because it's for your business. All right, let's say you only spent $20 on meals, you're still getting the full $59 deduction. Most accountants, most CPAs even don't truly understand that unless you specialize in travel. All right, your self-employment, all right, there is tax-deferred IRA and 401 contributions that you can make as a self-employed person. All right, amazing. But not only that, your self-employment taxes, depending on if you're incorporated or not, depends on how much you would be paying out. And that would go into a conversation, a personal conversation that we can have after the call. Again, I talked about this already. The cost of samples can be deducted in full. So if you're buying those sample packs and those are strictly for giving out as samples, by all means, that's deductible. But also, all right, like I said, the portion of your product is deductible, all right? And also the portion of your home expenses can be deductible. Your utilities, phone, property, taxes, insurance, mortgage, rent, etc. All of that can be deducted on the basis of the percentage of your house that you're using for your business. So we would calculate how big your house is, 2,000 square feet. All right, we would take a percentage of that, and then we'd be able to deduct all of your bills for the entire year off of your, against your income that you made off of your Juice Plus business. It's really huge, guys, that you understand, CPAs, which are certified public accountants. Most people that do taxes are what are called EAs or enrolled agents. They do take a rigorous course load of courses to become certified, but a lot of these EAs don't actually take courses in college and universities to be able to be state board certified in accounting. And what makes us at Conti Tax CPA so key for the Juice Plus business is we specialize in travel clients, people that are traveling consistently, so where we can get them the per diems that they deserve and that they're actually, So, Joe, did I miss anything that you think we should add to it?
No, I think you covered it all pretty well. I just wanted to clarify on the travel portion of it. If you're going to stay at a hotel, you can deduct the actual hotel expenses on the lodging side. If you're for the meals, you can deduct up to the per diem amount, regardless of whether you spend it or not. For the hotel, it really should be what you actually spend, the actual deductions that you take, instead of the actual per diem amount that IRS allows. So there's a little bit of a difference there.
Okay.
But otherwise, that's it. Yeah, you covered a lot of that, the key points there.
So were there any questions that anybody had that you guys can unmute yourselves? Were there any quick questions that you guys might have about the tax side and what we could possibly do for you guys?
I do see a question on the message board from Miss Erin Singler-Maurer. She's asking about the shake samples. That's a no-brainer. You can deduct any samples you're giving out, or shakes, other products. Not only the cost of the samples, but the cost to prepare and distribute the samples, including postage, mailing, things like that. If you're doing that.
Very cool. What about travel to other countries? Absolutely, any kind of travel, as long as it's for the business itself, can be deducted. So if you're flying to any one of these boot camps, if you're flying to, the Juice Plus conference, any part of that is deductible. So,
I have a quick question, Dan.
Sure.
I am self-employed for my physical therapy business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I write off all my mileage. I write off everything I can. So I actually make nothing at the end of the year, which is awesome. But so when it comes to the Juice Plus, do I need to be keeping separate mileage for the Juice Plus business and separate mileage for my PT business? Or is it just business? I'm just
When you say you're self-employed, are you doing a Schedule C right now, or are you a corporation?
I'm not a corporation. I'm just a sole proprietor.
You're a sole proprietor. Okay, so then you can, on a Schedule C, you can combine. Am I correct, Joe, on that?
Yeah. Is that how you're doing it now? You have one Schedule C, or do you have more than one sole proprietor?
One. Yeah.
You have one. Yeah. You can do it all in one as long as you're not double counting things. You're fine. You can put it all on one Schedule C, including physical therapy, or Juice Plus miles and expenses.
Okay. Because I'm writing off a percentage of my home because I do all my home office stuff. So I'll just keep that all as one piece too.
It sounds like you have a good CPA.
He's an EA actually.
Oh, EA, look, EA knows what he's doing, or she. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for doing this, you guys. This is great.
No,
And I see Julie also keeps a log of her mileage, which is really ideal because the EA or your CPA will appreciate having some sort of contemporaneous record of the deductions that you're being asked to take. So that's a good bit of advice.
Yeah.
do you do it through an app?
The first of every year, I write down what my mileage says in my car. And at December 31st, I write down what the end mileage is. So I know exactly how many miles I drove that year. It makes a big difference. I just keep a log in my car. I have a paper that I write it down every day, every mile.
Awesome. I know there's a
Excellent.
bunch of apps out there that'll actually track it for you while you're driving. You just click go and it'll track the mileage right there for you, beginning to end.
That's
So,
correct.
any other questions that anybody else had? So really just when you guys are focusing on, getting ready for your taxes to come up and what you're planning on, if you're having any kind of difficulty, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Joe, you want to go ahead and post in the chat box the phone number?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. I have one more comment here for Julie and really for anyone else who's listening. If you have a Schedule C and as you said, you have plenty of expenses to bring the income number down pretty low, you're probably in good shape. If that number starts to creep up a little bit higher than in the past, you're going to be paying a self-employment tax that really, really adds up to quite a bit. At that point, you may want to talk to your EA or your CPA about converting to an S Corp, a corporation instead of a sole proprietor or an LLC. It could save you quite a bit in taxes. It costs you more for tax compliance and tax prep because there's more return work to do. But it can really help you plan better from an overall tax savings perspective. So that's something to keep in mind.
Awesome.
I'm going to put the phone number in now, Dan. Feel free to call anytime. Okay.
Hey,
Yes. Hi, Molly.
What can we answer for you?
I'm getting mixed comments from different CPAs, so maybe you can clear this up. I live in Oregon. I currently send my taxes to Hawaii. So I was looking for a local CPA that would just make it a little easier on me. And I asked her one particular question and I didn't like her answer. I was told that what used to be the 5-year rule, that if you're not making enough money to cover your expenses, it's now a hobby. And I was told that that rule has been kicked out and no longer applies. Is that correct?
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, if you're reporting losses consistently, the IRS could come in and consider your operations a hobby and not allow those losses. And that's what you're referring to?
Yes.
It's very rare that it happens. I've never seen it happen actually, but it can happen.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just got to let you know that it can happen.
Okay.
I'm surprised that they would tell you that, that it's no longer there.
That is something that we keep an eye out for. If we have a client who's with us multiple years or we've reviewed prior tax returns and there's consistent losses, we might discuss not taking some of the deductions because you don't want to put yourself into a risky position. Be
Got it.
preemptive there.
But if you're consistently showing progress through the 5 years, even if your expenses aren't covered yet,
Well,
That could help you. If it becomes a question, those sort of circumstantial factors can help maybe prevent an issue.
okay.
But it's not going to guarantee protection.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much.
No,
You're welcome.
we're here for you guys if you need it, need us. So,
I posted the phone number and both of my and Dan's email addresses on the message board. So feel free to take the number and email down and reach out if you have follow-up questions. We're happy to help.
So guys, also so you know that we're going to have another call in January. This is also recorded. We will get this out. I don't know how you guys heard about the call, but however you did, I'm going to be getting it out to. You can always reach out to us personally if you want this call to give to somebody else that might have some questions. We're more than willing to answer any questions and be there for anybody. But we're going to have another call in January that if you want to get to your teams. And if you, we're also running a promotion right now that if you came onto us and got us your stuff, your organizer by January 31st, it's a 10% discount on the cost. So, all right, guys, I really appreciate your time. And